everyone, welcome back to another episode of Genai Vlog. So we've all heard of Perplexity AI in the sense that it has web search, it has labs, and I think recently it released Perplexity Max Pro, which is another level of membership that you can do. So in light of all these amazing services that's being released from Perplexity, in this next few videos, we want to dive into its API client, or also known as Sonar, provided by Perplexity and also managed by Perplexity, to see what are some cool tutorials and applications that we can build that's involving the real-time web search capabilities, question answer capabilities, even with financial data such as API inference from SEC. So, uh, very excited to get this episode started with you guys. With that being said, let's dive right in. So, right in front of me, I have the API docs. That's Sonar. That's a SDK managed by Perplexity, and the interface is very much like that of OpenAI or Anthropic, in the sense that you have a quick start, you have API refs. For the sake of simplicity, what we're going to do is we're going to explore and dive right into the code to see what are some things that we can do to interact with the client and to make a couple of API calls to see what we can do with it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump right into the collab. First things first, let's grab the secret. So I typically use the Google Colab user data to manage my secrets. And just like that, we're able to essentially load in the secrets. This assumes you have an API key from Sonar. And the way to do that is to go to quick start, and then you need to set up a group. And in this group, you can give a name, descriptions. I think you also have to put in credit card number to be able to create a group successfully. And then after that, you'll be able to create an API key in this page here. And then you create a key by pressing that button. And then obviously, it's sensitive information, right? So, take care of that credential. And the way I manage the credential is to use Google User Data Secrets, which is on the left-hand side if you open this button. So with that being said, that key is right there. And then one thing I like about Perplexity is that if you go into their API reference, most of their API is just an API request. For example, here, there isn't even an open SDK. It's just literally a post request, right? So here's a request from Python. It's built-in generic, and then we're talking about a post request. That's it. And then the API key is inserted in there as one of the headers. So I think that's pretty straightforward. We can start with something extremely simple, just question answer. So this is a question answer template. Here, that's a URL of the API call, and we have a headers, and we have payload, things like that. And then that's pretty much it. One interesting thing I like about Sonar platform is in a message, it actually has this input argument called search domain filter. So recall in previous episode, if you want to build a Wikipedia search agent or some sort of Google search agent, you have to specially define that custom Python function, get another sets of API keys in there, and build up the agent, hook it up the agent with the main large language model, and then you have to do a lot of payload transaction, pass the payload from one agent to another, things like that. So the reason I like about Sonar, which is managed by Perplexity, is that all that's managed behind the scene. So if I'm not taking this to production, if I just want to let my end user know the results, I'm not really trying to customize any agentic framework. I actually will very much appreciate this type of simplicity. I have a user message. I have some sort of a list of strings to specify what is the kind of domain that I want to search, whatever website I want to search, then I'm good to go. So something like that is interesting. I can invoke this API and it will give me some sort of response back. So let's wait a minute and see what's going on. Boom, just like that. So there's a think tag. That means it's thinking. We are given a query. Tell me about James Webb Space Telescope discoveries. Here are steps one, two, three. And then from the search results, we get this kind of artifact. So print it out. Then we can plan for the answer. Start with an introduction, summarizing whatever this is. And then let's see where's the answer. So after think tag finishes, this chunk of article is the answer from this question. So there you go. Hopefully this is clear, right? And then there's not a whole lot of complexity going on. You don't even need to have to install any packages. It's just API call. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to try something that's a little bit interesting. So this is my personal website, right? y-in.io. It's a live URL. So what I'm interested about is what if I do this? What if I say that's a URL? I put that URL in there. And then what if I say, um, tell me about Yiqiao. I'm actually curious if this is going to grab information, particularly from this website. So this website, obviously, I designed it, so I know what's going on. Behind the scene, there's an HTML script, and the HTML script has a bunch of paragraphs in there, right? Here's your education, here's a paper you wrote, right? It's a list of artifacts that I put on the website myself. So in this case, let's see. Okay. Um, so it actually tried to search who this person is. It got a couple of information from the internet. It may or may not mention me, right? Some of these are probably have nothing to do with me. So that's why I'm interested to see if it's actually going to point to this website. So let's scroll down and let's see if it's able to get it. So definitely a couple of names being mentioned. Revised plan. Start by starting. We didn't find the answer. Things like that. Alternatively, we can say, here's this. Final answer. We will write this. Okay, so I don't think it got it, which is very interesting considering I already fed in the URL. But what if I get rid of all these other URLs? I wonder if that is going to work. So let me put this here, and then let me run this query again. Let me see if it's going to force the information to be read from this URL. Aha. So I think it's got it, but it's not very accurate. I've never attended Yale. I've never attended MIT. I don't know where this is coming from. I did attend University of Chicago, so that part is correct. I did have a lecture in statistics role. I did quantitative researcher role. I think some of them are actually correct, some of them are not. That is my GitHub repo, although it misspelled. The name is not Yiqiao Yin, it's actually Yiqiao dash Yin. And then I think there are a couple of things here that might be wrong. So a couple of links here that might be wrong. LinkedIn, I think that's correct. Google Scholar, let's click on that. I don't know if that's correct or not. That's basically wrong. And then we have personal website, it's also wrong. So I don't think this is doing so something here and there might be correct, but it's not able to read the whole thing. I think this is actually very interesting because it could be possible that it somehow did not read this HTML correctly. It also could be possible that there's other sources behind the scene that's interfering with the result coming from this website. So that's interesting. What if now I just completely get rid of this and say, tell me about Yiqiao Yin? I was wondering if it's able to pull information from the internet. So let's see. Okay, let's take a look. I think this is probably more accurate, even if it's just directly from the internet. So I am from Shenzhen. I think that piece of information is correct. Personal website, that's definitely correct. I think it definitely has a search, has some sort of internet search behind the scene automatically. And then and this list is definitely very much correct. Education, definitely very much correct. So definitely has internet search behind the scene. Otherwise, why would any of the large language model know who I am, right? I'm just nobody. I'm not important at all. The training data, such as OpenAI or Anthropic, there's no reason that they will put my information in there as training data. This is definitely just some sort of web search from my website or from LinkedIn or whatever. So there you go. I think this is definitely very interesting. So right out of the box, you get web search automatically. So that's something that's definitely very much different from other SDKs out there, such as OpenAI or Anthropic. So there you go. Hopefully you like this episode. Hopefully this episode is a great start and a great highlight of what's upcoming for next few episodes. And thank you for watching. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next episode.